My name is Evelyn. I am 34 years old. I built a company, not alone, but I did most of the work. The company grew very big, but my name is not on the door. Let me tell you my story from the beginning. 5 years ago, Julian and I started a business together. Julian is 36. He is tall and he speaks very well. He smiles at everyone. People like him a lot. He is the person everyone knows, but I do all the work. We started in a tiny garage. The garage was very cold. We had no heat inside. We had very little money, but we had an idea. Julian talked about the idea to everyone. I sat down and made the idea real. I wake up at 4 in the morning. The room is dark and quiet. I get out of bed, I go to the kitchen, I make coffee. The coffee gets cold fast. I forget to drink it. My eyes burn. My back hurts, but I do not stop. I sit at my old desk and I work. I read the code on my small screen. I fix small problems. I plan new parts of the product. The hours pass fast. I write all the code. Every single line. I design every product. I answer every late email from clients. At 2 in the morning, a client sends a question. I answer it. At 3 in the morning, a system breaks. I fix it. Julian does not wake up. He needs his sleep. He has meetings in the morning. People look at Julian and think he built the company. He goes to meetings with investors. He shakes their hands. He smiles his big smile. He tells a great story about our product. The investors get excited. They give him money. But Julian does not know how the technology works. He never learned. He does not need to learn. He has me. I know everything about the product. I built it from zero. Every part, every feature, every fix. That is my work. Only my work. For 3 years, I take no salary. 3 full years. I work every day and I take no money home. I use my personal credit cards. I pay for Julian's business trips. I pay for his hotel rooms. I pay for his dinners with investors. I even pay for his new shoes. I have very little money for food, but I do not say a word. I work hard. I believe in us. My credit card debt gets bigger and bigger, but I say nothing. I believe in our future. Julian is kind to me at home. He kisses my forehead. He says, "Evelyn, you are the best. This company needs you." He says, "This is our company, not just mine, ours." He says, "When we make it big, you get everything. We get married. You get a big ring. I promise you." I believe him. I love him. So I believe every word. I never ask for a contract. I never ask for my name on any company paper. I think love is my contract. I think 2 people in love do not need lawyers. Trust is enough. He is mine and I am his. Some nights, I sit alone in the cold garage. It is very late. The street outside is quiet and dark. My fingers hurt from all the typing. My eyes feel heavy. I look at the bright screen in front of me. I feel tired and small. But then I think about Julian. I think about our life together. I think about the ring. I think about the wedding. I smile to myself. Then I go back to work. I do this every night, every single night, for 5 years. Time passes, months pass, then years. Our product gets better. I work on it every day. More clients come. The company makes more money. Julian travels more. He shakes more hands. He meets more important people. I stay at my desk. I drink cold coffee. I write more code. Then one day, a very big investment company called us. They wanted to put millions of dollars into our business. Julian got very excited. He put on his best suit. He went to the big meeting alone. He smiled and talked for 2 hours. He told them our story. He said we and our team and our product. He did not say my name, not one time, but the investors said yes. They loved Julian. They loved his words. They wrote a very big check. Julian called me from his car. His voice was loud with happiness. He said, "Evelyn, we did it. We got the money." I sat down. My eyes got wet. I cried. Good tears, happy tears. 5 years, 5 hard years. And we finally did it. We moved to a new office in the city center. The office was huge. The walls were all glass. The city looked beautiful outside every window. Everything was bright and new and clean. On the first day, I walked through the big glass doors. I looked around. I felt proud, very proud. I helped build this. I thought, this is ours. This is our dream. I waited for Julian to say my name. I waited for the right words. I waited for the ring. I waited for my moment. But Julian was busy. He talked to the new investors. He laughed with the new team. He did not look for me. I went to my small desk. I set up all the computer systems. I trained 2 new developers. I worked late into the night. Julian went to a dinner. Then another dinner. Then another. I drank cold coffee. I worked in the quiet. I looked at the empty chair next to me, Julian's chair, always empty at night. But I thought about our future. I stayed at my desk and I worked. I thought, good things come soon. I just need to wait a little more. I did not know how wrong I was. The new office was beautiful. But things changed fast. The investors wanted the company to look more professional. Julian listened to them. He bought new suits. Each suit cost $5,000. He got a new black car, very big, very expensive. He got a new phone, new shoes, new everything. Julian changed at home too. He stopped eating dinner with me. He said he needed to go to business dinners. He said he had to meet important people. He said, "Evelyn, I am very busy now. The company needs me, so I ate alone. I worked alone. Again." Then Julian hired a new VP of operations. Her name was Sloan. She was 30 years old. She was very tall, with long dark hair. She wore designer dresses every day. She smelled like very expensive perfume. She had a big degree from a famous school, an MBA from a top university. But Sloan did not know our technology. Not at all. She could not write one line of code. She could not fix one system problem. She did not know our clients or our software, but she knew big words. She used them in every meeting. She talked about market synergy and brand strategy and corporate culture. The investors loved those words. They nodded and smiled. Julian loved those words too. Sloan was very good at one thing. She told Julian he was great. She said he was a smart leader. She laughed at all his jokes. She looked at him with big eyes. Julian smiled a lot around Sloan. A new smile. A smile I did not know. I went back to my desk. I did the real work. I wrote new code. I fixed system bugs. I answered client questions. I trained the developers. I did everything I always did. But nobody saw me. Nobody said thank you. Nobody said my name. Julian took Sloan to all the important dinners. I read about the dinners later. A company email came. CEO Julian and VP Sloan attend a major investor event. A photo showed them together. They stood very close. Julian smiled. Sloan smiled. I looked at the photo for a long time. Then I closed the email. I stayed in the back office. I worked late, alone. One evening, I went to Julian's car to get my bag. I opened the car door. A strong smell came out. Sloane's perfume, sweet and heavy. I stood very still. I looked at the seat. I looked at the small space inside the car. I knew that smell very well. My stomach felt cold and heavy. I did not say a word. I closed the car door. I walked back inside. I sat at my desk. I opened my laptop. I started to code. What else could I do? Days passed. Weeks passed. Then one Friday afternoon, Julian's assistant called me. Her voice was flat. She said, "Julian wants to see you in his office now." I put down my cup. I stood up. I walked down the long hall. I knocked on the big office door. I opened it. The office was huge. Big windows, a big dark desk. Julian sat behind the desk. His suit was new and clean. His face was calm, cold and calm. Sloan sat to the side. She looked at me. She smiled. Not a warm smile. A small, hard, cold smile. I sat down. Julian did not greet me. He did not say my name warmly. He looked at me like a problem, a small, easy problem to fix. He said, "Evelyn, the company grows fast now. We need a strong corporate image, a new culture." He looked at the desk. He said, "You are too technical, too quiet. You do not fit that culture. So I let you go today. Sloan takes over your department." I looked at him, my boyfriend, the man I built this for. He looked right at me and said those words. He fired me from my own work, from my own dream. My heart stopped. I could not breathe. The room felt very small and very cold. I said, "Julian, I built this company. I wrote every line of code. I worked every night for 5 years. I used my own money for 3 years. I gave you everything I had." Julian did not move. His face did not change. He pushed a small white envelope across the desk, a check inside, a very small check, 5 years of my life. One small envelope. He said, "It is just business, Evelyn. This is the right move for the company." He paused. He looked away. He said, "We are also done. You and me. It is over between us two. Please clean your desk today." He turned back to his computer. He was already done with me. Sloan said nothing. She looked at her nails. She did not look at me. My hands shook. I picked up the envelope. I stood up slowly. My legs felt weak. I walked out of the big office. I walked down the long hall. I went to my small desk. I put my things in a box, a few pens, a notebook, one small photo, a coffee cup. 5 years in one small box. Nobody got up. Nobody said a word. Nobody looked at me. I picked up the box. I walked to the elevator. I pressed the button. The doors opened. I stepped in. The doors closed. I looked at my face in the shiny elevator doors. I walked out of the glass building. The city was loud all around me. People walked fast. Cars moved fast. Life moved fast. I stood on the street and held my small box. I walked to my car. I put the box on the seat. I sat down. I closed the door and I started to cry. I cried for 3 days. I did not eat much. I did not sleep well. I sat on my sofa. I cried into a pillow. I cried for my lost job. I cried for my lost company. I cried for my lost love. I talked to myself out loud. I said, I was a fool. A real fool. I gave him my brain. I gave him 5 years. I gave him my money. He gave me nothing. He gave me a small check and a cold goodbye. I cried for my youth, for 3 years with no salary, for 5 years of cold coffee and tired eyes, 5 years of late nights and empty promises, all for him, all for a man who pushed me out of my own door. My apartment felt very quiet. My credit card debt was real. My bank account was almost empty. I had no job. I had no company. I had no plan. I had my laptop and I had my brain. On the 4th day, I stopped crying. I got up. I washed my face with cold water. I looked in the mirror for a long time. My eyes were red. My face looked tired, but I was still there, still me. Julian took my job. He took my title. He took 5 years, but he could not take my knowledge. He could not take what I built inside my own head. I walked to my desk. I sat down. I opened my laptop. The screen came on. I looked at my old files, thousands of files, years of work, my work, only mine. I thought about Julian and Sloane in the big glass office. I thought about Sloane in her pretty dress. She could not write one line of code. She could not answer one hard question from a client. She could not fix one system error. And Julian? Julian talked. He always just talked. Without me, the product did not work well. Without me, the software fell apart. Without me, they had only big words and nice suits. I opened a new file. I started to build something new, better than before. A stronger system, a smarter design. I worked from my living room. I worked quietly. I drank my coffee hot this time. I did not forget to drink it. I started a small company. Just my name, my company. No Julian, no partners, no promises, just work. Hard, focused, smart work. I sent emails to some old clients, the ones I helped for years. They remembered my name, not Julian's name, mine. I helped them fix old problems. They paid me real money. My money. I paid off some debt. I worked more. I paid off more. Step by step, I built something real again. Weeks passed. My company grew. I hired 1 developer, then 2, then 5 good people. I moved out of my living room. I rented a small office. My name was on the door. Just my name, no one else's name. Then one morning I got an email, a meeting request. The name at the bottom said Marcus Chen. He ran a very well-known investment company. His name was in every business newspaper. I felt nervous, but I said yes. I went to the meeting in a simple black dress. I carried my laptop. I walked into Marcus's office. He was 40 years old. He was calm and quiet. He did not look at my clothes or my hair. He looked at my screen. He said, "Show me what you built." I showed him everything. I talked for 1 hour. I explained every part of the software, every system, every feature, every plan. Marcus listened. He did not speak over me. He did not check his phone. He asked good questions, smart, deep questions. He understood the technology. He wanted to learn more. After the meeting, Marcus stood up. He shook my hand. He looked at me and said, "This is the best technology I see this year. I invest in you." Just like that. No long wait, no games. Marcus did not put me in a back room. He put my name on the building. He told every investor, "Evelyn built this. She is the genius." In every big meeting, he sat next to me. Not in front of me, not behind me, next to me. Equal, always. We built the company together. He brought the money and the big contacts. I built the technology. We talked every morning. He listened to me. I listened to him. We grew very fast. My life changed. A better apartment, better equipment, a strong team of smart people. I paid them well. I said thank you every day. I remembered what it felt like to work hard and get nothing. I never did that to my team. Some mornings I sat in my new office with a hot cup of coffee. I looked at the city outside my window. I thought about that cold garage. I thought about the cold coffee and the sore back and the tired eyes. I thought about Julian's forehead kisses and his empty promises. I did not feel sad. I did not feel angry. I felt strong, quiet, and strong. Marcus knocked on my door one morning. He had 2 cups of hot tea. He put one on my desk. He said, "Ready for a big week?" I smiled. A real smile. I said, "Yes, always." And I was. My name grew in the industry. People said my name. At big events, newspapers wrote my name, Evelyn, CEO and founder. My name, my title, my company. Nobody gave it to me. I built it. I earned it. Every single piece of it. And Julian? His name got very quiet. 2 years later, I sat in my corner office. It was a beautiful room, big glass walls, a full view of the city. My name was on the door. My name was on the building sign below. My company did very well. We had big clients across the country. My technology was the best in the market. Other companies wanted to work with us. My name meant something real now. I earned that name, every letter of it. Marcus and I grew very close, not just in work, in life too. He was calm and kind. He respected my work and my ideas. He always said, "This is your vision, Evelyn. I only help." He made me laugh. He made me feel safe. He was a good man, a real one. My life felt full, not just comfortable, truly full. I had a great team, a great company, a great person next to me. I slept well now. I wore nice clothes now. I drank hot coffee every morning. Every single morning. Then I heard news about Julian. His company fell apart. It started about 1 year after he fired me. Sloan ran the operations. But Sloan did not understand anything real. She made big promises to clients. The product did not deliver on those promises. Clients got angry. Then they left. The investors asked hard questions. Sloan had no good answers. Then people found out Sloan took money from the company, a very large amount. She put it in her personal accounts. Then she left. She left the city. She left Julian. She left all the problems and all the debt. She just walked away. Julian knew nothing about it until it was too late. The investors sued him. He had no money to give back. The company closed. He sold his car. He lost his big apartment. The expensive suits hung in an empty closet in a small rented room. The man with the big smile had nothing now. I read the news on my laptop one morning. I drank my hot coffee. I put down my cup. I did not feel happy about his trouble, but I did not feel sad either. I felt nothing. A calm, flat nothing. My assistant Diana knocked on my door one morning. She opened it a small bit. She said, "Evelyn, a man is outside. He has no appointment. He says he knows you very well. He says he needs to talk to you now." She looked a little unsure. She said, "His name is Julian." I put down my pen. I looked at the window. The city was bright outside. I took one slow breath. I said, "Let him in." The door opened all the way. Julian walked in. I looked at him. He was a different man. The expensive suit was gone. He wore old, plain clothes. His face was pale and thin. His eyes looked tired and lost. He looked much older. He looked very small in my big office. He looked around the room slowly. He looked at my big desk. He looked at the bright city outside my window. He looked at my name on the wall. He looked at all of it. Then he looked at me. I looked back at him. I said nothing. I waited. Julian opened his mouth. He closed it. He tried again. His voice shook. He said, "Evelyn, I am sorry. I am so sorry." His eyes got very wet. He sat down in the chair across from me, the same kind of chair I sat in when he fired me. He put his face in his hands. He started to cry. Big, ugly, loud tears. His shoulders shook. He cried like a small child. I watched him. I did not move. I felt nothing change inside me. I thought about that Friday afternoon. I thought about his cold face. I thought about Sloane's cold smile. I thought about my small box of things. I thought about standing alone on the street, outside the glass building. My shaking hands. Julian looked up. His eyes were red and wet. He said, "I was so stupid. Sloane used me. She lied to me. She took everything and she ran. I have nothing left. I cannot pay my rent next month." He wiped his face with the back of his hand. He said, "Evelyn, please. I need help. I need a job. You know me. We worked together for years. You know I can sell. Please, give me one chance." I looked at him for a long moment. My face was calm. My voice was calm. My heart was calm. I felt no anger. I felt no love. I felt no pity. Just a clean, quiet nothing. I thought about 5 years of cold coffee and a sore back. I thought about 3 years of no salary. I thought about my credit card debt. I thought about forehead kisses and empty promises. I thought about a small white envelope on a big desk. "It is just business, Evelyn. Please clean your desk today." I spoke slowly. Each word was clear. I said, "Julian, you fired the only person who truly cared about your success. You pushed away the person who built your company from nothing. You threw away real work and real love. And in the end, someone lied to you and left you. That is very sad." I paused. I looked at him without blinking. I said, "But I do not save you. I do not owe you anything. Not one thing." Julian opened his mouth. His eyes begged. He started to speak. I raised one hand. I stopped him. I said, "We are not friends. We are not partners. We are not together. We are competitors. And in this race, Julian, you already lost." I pressed a small button on my desk. The door opened right away. Diana stood there. 2 security guards stood behind her. Diana said politely, "This way, sir." She pointed to the door. Julian stood up very slowly. He looked at me one last time. His eyes were full of tears. He looked old and broken and small. He turned. He walked to the door. He stopped for 1 second. Then he walked out. The door closed. The room was very quiet. I stood up. I walked to the big glass window. I put my hand on the cool glass. I looked at the city below. The streets were full. The lights were bright. The world moved fast down there. I built a life in this city, a real life, my life. The door opened. Marcus walked in. He carried 2 cups of hot tea. He put one on my desk. He walked to my side. He looked at the city with me. He kissed my cheek. He said nothing. He just stood there next to me, my equal, my partner, my person. I picked up my cup. I held it warm in both hands. I looked at the city below me. The lights, the streets, the people, the life, all of it. I lost a coward, but I found myself. I am the boss now, and my life is perfect.